Rifat Atun, who is a professor of global health systems at Harvard University, joins us now from London. Fantastic to have you on the show. Help us understand this from a scientific point of view. Why are there so many different outcomes in different countries? We've just mentioned a few there. And why are such situations so similar?
Yes, excellent question, and a question many scientists are trying to answer. Well, there are many reasons why the trajectory of the epidemic is different in different parts of the world. These range from the first case being noted to genetic makeup of the population, social determinants, as well as the public health measures and when they were introduced, as well as the capacity of the health system, but very importantly, the demographic makeup of the population. Now, the examples you gave are very good ones. For example, Austria was very quick to introduce measures, closing borders and introducing restrictions. Whereas in Italy, it's very interesting to see that the epidemic actually grew very rapidly in Lombardy region, which has a large number of international travelers. And we now have evidence that the virus may have been circulating among the population as early as January. But then, like many other European countries, Italy was fairly slow to introduce restrictions. And as a result, the numbers of cases increased very rapidly, but the health system was not ready in a population that is very old. As a result, we are seeing very large number of people dying in Italy. A similar situation in Spain, of course. But countries that have been quick to introduce restrictions, and we see many countries in Asia, as well as many low-income countries in Latin America, have done better.
Okay. It is fascinating to hear that, because you do look at so many countries and really wonder why. Let me ask you about vaccines. Is there anything or drugs that you've seen? There's so much research right now taking place that you think could be the one that could help us get out of this pandemic?
Well, what is very encouraging with this SARS epidemic or the pandemic is that the scientists have been able to identify the genetic makeup of the virus and have developed vaccine candidates very quickly. Within 3 months, we have 100 vaccine candidates currently under development, either in laboratory or in animal models, or 8 of these are actually in trials in humans. This is unprecedented in our history. With earlier SARS infections, this took almost 18 months to get to the point where we're at. And some of the trials are progressing fairly well, and we should have some results by the end of this year.
Which one strikes you as the most promising?
Well, the ones I'm familiar with are the trials that are happening in the UK and also in Germany.
Okay.
In relation to vaccines. But there are also more than 600 trials going on for medicines and testing them individually or in different combinations. But as yet, we do not have a firm result in a randomized control trial that tells us the safety and efficacy of a particular medicine. But the results should be released fairly soon. Over the next 2 to 3 weeks, we should be seeing many results emerging from these studies.
2 to 3 weeks, excellent. I want to ask you about face masks. There is so much confusion. Sometimes I get so confused myself. And some countries advise against them, and some countries say you must wear them. But why is it then that doctors and nurses are forced to wear them?
Well, first of all, what is very sad about this whole response is that many of the interventions we are using, such as face masks or isolation or quarantine or contact tracing, these go back to medieval times, to the 14th century, to the times of the Great Plague. So on that front, science has not improved very much, sadly to say. In relation to masks, we wear masks because, first of all, especially for health workers, the masks they wear, they prevent droplets from infected individuals being inhaled. But for our ordinary masks that are being worn, actually prevent the droplets from being transmitted to a distance. So if two people are wearing masks, then the possibility of a droplet moving from one person to another, and the viruses need the droplets for transmission, is reduced. So purely it acts as a barrier.
And so just very quickly, yes or no, would you advise on wearing them?
Yes.
Thank you for
if
that.
one is actually going out and mixing with others, yes, because it provides a layer of protection. And if two individuals or many individuals are wearing them, it provides 2 layers of protection. And what's very interesting is that many of the Asian countries that have done, such as South Korea, Taiwan, China, and Vietnam, Thailand, that have done very well, or Japan, that have done very well in relation to the response. Population have been wearing masks since the early days of the pandemic.
Rifat Atun from Harvard University. It's been such a pleasure and very informative speaking to you here on the News Hour. I look forward to speaking to you again. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.